and get everything all ready. Boom, got another one. This is fun being able to come to you guys live multiple times a day now. Just giving it a second so that other people can get past the ads. All right. I'm just taking a few deep breaths. In through my nose, slowly, and out through my mouth. Relaxing. All right. Good evening to the humans of Earth. This is Sovereign Starseed, bringing you an esoteric study session, and this is part 2 of Bringers of the Dawn, and we'll go through chapter 2 tonight. Thank you so much for being with me. I can't promise that this isn't going to be emotional, but I am so grateful to be able to share this. Cool. Okay. So, this is chapter 2 on Prime Creator's Journey. And this says, humanity is an experiment. Humanity has been designed, as has just about everything else that exists within creation. Prime Creator began experimenting with creation a long time ago in this universe for the purpose of greater self-exploration, self-gratification, and self-expression. Prime Creator brought energies and essences of life extensions of itself into this universe and endowed those extensions with the gifts that it had. It gave willingly and freely of its capabilities. There are many other universes and many other ways of designing universes. This particular one was designed as a free will zone in which all would be allowed. Prime Creator said to these extensions of itself, "Go out and create and bring all things back to me." It was quite a simple assignment, was it not? In other words, Prime Creator was saying, I am going to gift you of myself. You go out and gift of yourselves freely so that all you create in this universe can understand its essence as my identity. These extensions of Prime Creator, which we call Creator Gods, went out and began to experiment with Prime Creator's energy as it existed within themselves. They began to create their own hierarchy, which in turn created other hierarchies. Each succeeding hierarchy created another hierarchy to endow it with its own essence and to assist in the development of this universe. Eventually, in one of the galactic systems, a plan came together to design Earth as an intergalactic exchange center of information. It was an incredible plan. Earth was a beautiful place, located on the fringes of one of the galactic systems and easily reached from other galaxies. It was close to many way portals, the highways that exist for energy to travel throughout space. There was much scurrying and shuffling to create individual representation from all of the galaxies here upon this planet. Some of the creator gods were master geneticists. They were able, through their hierarchies, to tie molecules together, encoded molecules of identity, frequency, and electrical charge to create life. Many sentient civilizations gave of their DNA to have representation of their coding upon this planet. The master geneticists then designed various species, some human, some animal, by playing with the varieties of DNA that the sentient civilizations contributed to make Earth into this exchange center of information, this light center, this living library. The plan for Earth was a grand one. The original planners of Earth were members of the family of light, beings who worked for and were associated with an aspect of consciousness called light. Light is information. The family of light created the information center they had conceived of. They designed a place where galaxies would contribute their information and where all would be able to participate and share their specific knowledge. Earth was to be a cosmic library, a place of incredible beauty that experimented with how information could be stored through frequencies and through the genetic process. Outside the structure of time, 100,000 years can pass in what may be a year within the structure of time as you know it. These creator gods did not exist in time as you know it. A few 100,000 years or 1,000,000 years was nothing to them. Different energies were brought into existence. There were species of humans on Earth perhaps 500,000 years ago who developed very highly evolved civilizations. We are not speaking of the civilizations that you call Lemuria or Atlantis. To us, those civilizations are modern. Well, we are talking about civilizations that are ancient, civilizations that are buried under some of the ice caps of the far southern continent of Antarctica. The project of the living library on Earth was eventually fought over. It looked enticing enough to be mined by some. During Earth's early history, there were wars in space for ownership of this planet. Have you ever wondered who owns Earth? It's a prime hunk of real estate. Do you think it would go ownerless in space? Skirmishes took place, and Earth became a place of duality. Certain creator gods who had the right to do whatever they wanted because Earth is a free will zone came in and took over. We call this raiding the Earth. It was like corporate raiding on Wall Street. These creator gods raided Earth approximately 300,000 years ago, the time period, historically speaking, that you would call the beginning of human civilization. This is merely the time period to you, in this present day, that you in this present day are taught was the beginning of civilization. In actuality, it was only the beginning of the later phase, the phase of modern humanity. When this skirmish occurred, a certain group of entities fought in space and won the territory of Earth. These new owners did not want the native Earth species, the humans, to be informed of what took place. Uninformed, the species would be easier to control. This is why light is information and darkness is lack of information. These entities beat out light and Earth became their territory. It gives you a new idea of light, does it not? There was a great radioactivity and nuclear action, and much of Earth was rent asunder. The original species, human creation, experienced great destruction and was scattered. These new creator gods, who were the new owners, were also the master geneticists. They understood how to create life, and they wanted this territory for their own reasons. Territories are created and held by certain energies for many reasons, one of which is that there is consciousness within all things. Consciousness communicates continuously. Consciousness vibrates, or it can be led to vibrate at certain electromagnetic frequencies. Electromagnetic energies of consciousness can be influenced to vibrate in a certain way to create a source of food, just as apples can be prepared and eaten in a variety of ways. Consciousness can be prepared and ingested in a variety of ways. See if I could tweet that. Popping it out. Get this over. All right. Some entities, in the process of their own evolution, began to discover that as they created life and put consciousness into things, through modulating the frequencies of forms of consciousness, they could feed themselves. They could keep themselves in charge. They began to figure that this is how Prime Creator nourished itself. Prime Creator sends out others to create electromagnetic frequency of consciousness as a food source for itself. The new owners of this planet had a different appetite and different preferences than the former owners. They nourished themselves with chaos and fear. These things fed them, stimulated them, and kept them in power. These new owners who came here 300,000 years ago are the magnificent beings spoken of in your Bible, in the Babylonian and Sumerian tablets, and in texts all over the world. They came to Earth and rearranged the native human species. They rearranged your DNA in order to have you broadcast with a certain limited frequency band whose frequency could feed them and keep them in power. See how far I can go with this. The original human was a magnificent being whose 12 strands of DNA were contributed by a variety of sentient civilizations. When the new owners came in, they worked in their laboratories and created versions of humans with a different DNA, the two-stranded double helix DNA. They took the original DNA of the human species and disassembled it. The original DNA pattern was left within the human cells, yet it was not functional. It was split apart, unplugged. Within human cells are light-encoded filaments. Gee, this is so beautiful. Humans of Earth need this. This. When these gossamer threads are working together like a cable, the way fiber optics works, they form the helix of your DNA. When you are rearranged, you were left with a double helix. Anything necessary for survival and that could keep you informed was unplugged, leaving you only with a double helix that would lock you into controllable, operable frequencies. A frequency fence, something like an electrical fence, was put around the planet to control how much the frequencies of humans could be modulated and changed. As the story goes, this frequency fence made it very difficult for the frequencies of light information to penetrate. When light frequencies were able to penetrate the control fence, there was no light to receive them. The human's DNA was unplugged. The light-encoded filaments were no longer organized, so the creative cosmic rays that brought light did not have anything to plug into and hold on to. What part do you play in this story? You are members of the family of light. The mere fact that you are reading this book shows that you are family of light. For some of you, this is just like a dream. We are reminding you of what you know inside yourselves. We have come on to this planet to trigger your memory banks to inspire the human race through the band of light so that you will begin to remember who you are, to create your own reality, and to alter the frequency on the planet and claim rightful ownership of yourselves and this territory. See how far this will go. We, as Pleiadians, come back through time into what would perhaps be called our past in the vestige of representatives of light. We come back in order to share a frequency with you, a frequency that each one of you has agreed to carry on this planet in order to change the DNA of the rearranged human race. This is a big story. It could make headlines, you know. The original planners are not about to lose the territory. Do you think they are going to give up so easily? The original planners began to call on the family of light to go in and infiltrate the project. Hey, Rhino Mods. So glad that you're able to end up... Oh, that is so cool. I love that emoji. I was able to find that site you told me about. Excellent, my friend. Excellent. Okay. The original planners began to call on the family of light to go in and infiltrate the project, to incarnate one by one and bring the light as information via creative cosmic rays into the place where it was lost. The family of light began its work here, coming into a system that was devoid of light and devoid of information. By mutating the laws of humanity, these creative cosmic rays began to pierce people's bodies, individual by individual, then group by group. In very small amounts throughout the aeons were these frequencies of information brought on to this planet. At times, great battles were fought to keep out the light or information that was always looking to be expressed. The original planners knew that, cosmically speaking, this was a lesson for them in allowing, in understanding the creator gods who took their project. The original planners set out to insert their own version of a plan to coincide with a time when the frequency of Earth would be altered, a time when the owners would perish if they could not change their own frequency. Emotions are a source of food. There are those whose food source is love, and the original planners intend to alter the frequency of Earth to that of love. The current owner's food source of fear, anxiety, chaos, hunger, and despondency must be removed. Guess who's removing this food source? You are. As members of the family of light, you are renegades. You are systems busters, here to conquer your own fears and show the rest of the planet that there is no reason to fear anything. You love to go in and cause trouble. You are famous. Your branch of the family of light. You are famous for going into systems of reality and altering the frequency. Hey, can you do a shout from time to time to help me get some food? Yeah, absolutely, man. Like, there you go. There you go. Like, with Rhino Mods, I have been talking about you on the stream, man. About some of the higher transaction fees. Okay. You are famous for going into systems of reality and altering the frequency, thus bringing information. It is not your task as members of the family of light, to proselytize. You simply go into systems and act as receptacles. You receive and create You receive the creative cosmic rays into your bodies, the bodies that you occupy as humans. You are in disguise as humans, and you allow a process to take place. You are coded, and as your memory begins to rise, you will respond to the plan with which you came here to participate, to alter the frequencies. You will begin to hold, keep, and maintain a certain frequency, and then to align to it. Identity as frequency is the sum total of your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies broadcast as electronic pulsations. As you live your frequency, you affect everyone, every place you go. This is what you are doing now. There are so many who already understand their assignment, and there are those whose memories are just beginning to rise. The plan to change the frequency modulation affecting the human species entails the rebundling of your DNA and of the light-encoded filaments. The plan is gigantic at this time. Earth is assisting, in its own way, the evolution of the universe. Earth is where things are happening. It is the hot spot, the place to be. It is where the plan begins to blossom, and what happens on Earth is going to affect many, many worlds. That's beautiful. Humans of Earth need it. As members of the family of light, you agreed to come to Earth many times in many guises and in many different time frames to learn the ropes, to figure out the character, and to become trained. You needed to experience Earth and to prepare yourself for the time when the frequency alteration would begin to occur, and you would all incarnate in large numbers to bring the plan into action. The family of light everywhere is beginning to unite. You must all focus on what you have in common, not what you do not have in common. As members of the family of light, you bring information to the planet neutrally to stimulate your own growth. You do not need this, for your own growth affects the growth of the planet. You need to do this, for your own growth affects the growth of the planet. Just tagging it up. Twitter's so fun. Your DNA will evolve from 2 helixes to 12 helixes. These 12 helixes correspond to energy centers, or chakras, inside and outside of your body. Millions of you on the planet at this time are on assignment, and you have agreed to carry the frequency to accomplish this. Handfuls of you are becoming impeccable, and these handfuls are affecting the others. Soon you will begin to have great clarity as to who you are and what your assignment is. This process is an incredible evolutionary leap for one to be involved in, and it is going to take place on an accelerated path for the next 20 years. And that's just not 20 years, all time going forward. There are those who have already received a realignment of the 12 strands of DNA, the 12 helixes. These 12 spiral strands interact with one another in the body and outside of the body. The connection of the 12 strands means that the 12 energy or information centers can begin to function and send information back and forth to one another. Traditionally, 7 of these centers are located in the body, and 5 are located outside of the body. They are commonly known as your chakra centers and are aligned with the spinning of the 12 heavenly bodies that you know of at this time within your solar system. The 12 heavenly bodies that are vibrating as you recognize them in 3D. These 12 heavenly bodies are spinning with information. They spin with the chakra systems that go out to the end of the universe, and they spin with the DNA spinning inside your body. When human DNA begins to rebundle as a 12-stranded helix system and this information is acted upon, there will be incredible power. Individuals, simply by coming together and jointly intending what they want, jointly becoming telepathic receptacles for energies, becoming a telepathic receptacle for energies from all over the cosmos, will change the face of the universe. We call the rebundling process of your DNA a mutation. Once you, as members of the family of light, are able to take this mutation into your bodies, you will be able to integrate your 12 centers of information. You will begin to understand that you create your experiences. You will learn to become conscious creators. More than that, you will become conscious rememberers of who you are. As your 10th, 11th, and 12th chakras begin to open themselves, many off-planet energies will appear in your lives. These energies will occur on this planet as more and more of you hold the higher frequencies. The 10th chakra connects with the solar system, the 11th with the galaxy, and the 12th with a place in the universe. As you hold these frequencies, you will bring information onto the planet that will astound and shock most of the world. There will be a merging of identities, a merging of cultures, an infusion of many new world orders, and there will be much chaos and confusion. As members of the family of light, you can simply observe this, knowing that chaos and confusion must come to break down the system so that it can be rebuilt with light. As members of the family of light, you can understand that there is an evolutionary process taking place and that those who can handle the changing frequencies by all means will evolve. Earth is an exciting place to be at this time. It is a good plan, is it not? So that's it for tonight, guys, and that's our studies. It makes me super grateful to be able to share this with you, and tomorrow we'll probably be back with another session of the esoteric studies. It gives me so much pleasure to be able to bring this to you. I'm remembering so much from this. I'm super grateful to anybody that was paying attention and was watching this tonight, and anybody that does watch this going forward in the future. Absolutely grateful, because like I say, if it isn't for you guys, then I wouldn't even have a channel. So I am extremely grateful for your participation, for you being here tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Mountain, 5 o'clock Central for the crypto news. This is the Sovereign Starseed signing off, saying good night to the humans of Earth.